This shiur is dedicated for refuah shlema of Chaim Yitzchak Kadesh ben Devorah. Hashem yishlach lo refuah shlema, and also Rachamim ben Larissa. Parashat, וגם what? נו, מהר. חיה זויה, בת דבורה. תמרה בת רבקה. I don't want to mix together. Parashat Emor. So in Parashat Emor, this parasha is a continuation in the order of parashiyot that teaches us about what Kedusha is, the essence of Kedusha, holiness, and really who is the person who is Kadosh. How does a person become Kadosh? What does it really become holy? Kadosh means holy. Kedusha, holiness. Is to become Kadosh is to check all the time if I'm enlightened, right? Am I enlightened? Is to check all the time, am I connected? Am I connected to myself? Am I disconnected from reality and from everything that goes in the world? That's what's going to make me holy. That's going to make me kadosh when I don't know what's going around me. Some people do think that that's what it is to become holy. That you don't know what's going on in the world. You're disconnected from everything around you. That you are like on this natural cloud of pot all your life. That's not being holy. The pasuk says, "V'nitkadashti betoch bet Yisrael." Nitkadashti indicates us grammatically, indicates us that there is an action involved here. Nitkadashti, I became holy, means if we're going to say I became holy, therefore the question will be by whom? V'nitkadashti. To become kadosh is not to look like a holy person, or so-called to play it holy. Become kadosh, to become holy, is a person who is connected to the daily asiyah, daily action. That daily action that is full of hardship, that is full of limitations, both on ourselves and our abilities and so on. To become holy is to create a situation in which it is possible for us to connect to what is so-called the Ein Sof, to the infinite. That's really what it means to become holy. To become holy is to create a situation in which, by this connection to the infinite, I'm connecting to the spiritual part in me, and I'm allowing that infinite come down to this physical world and to be poel pulot, to do actions in it. You see from here, and we will see later on, we'll repeat it again, to become holy, you need to be involved in doing. You cannot sit down and do nothing. And I'll show you when you sit down and you do nothing, what exactly happens from it. And it's not good. It's not nice. It's not pleasant. This, one needs to remember that this simple doing, this like mundane actions, or the daily thing that we do, wraps inside of itself our ability to become real, authentic. And it glorifies it to its greatest capacity. Just by doing daily things, regular things that are not so spectacular, and so on and so forth. In a certain way, in a certain aspect, if we look at this, to be holy or holiness is not to be in a spiritual holiness all the time, but rather in materialistic action, by materialistic doing, by taking the chomer and doing something with it. To create a situation in which I am improving. I'm taking something and I'm improving it. I'm creating a situation wherein, by doing so, that infinite spark is connected to me, and by doing so, I am becoming more spiritual. Through that connection that I'm making in this room, and by this action that I'm creating a new situation, I'm improving. I'm taking a situation the way it is, and not so glorified, and I'm making it better. By making it better, I am becoming a partner in creation to God Himself. I'm a partner in creation. And by doing so, I am becoming holy because I connected myself to God. I'm connected myself to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This is what it means to become holy. A holy person is not a person who sits down and hibernates or becomes a hermit and he sits there in the corner all by himself, aloof from the people. Become holy is the person who is involved with the people, who cares about them, who's taking situation and is trying to improve it. This is becoming holy. By doing so, I'm allowing the abundance, the shefa, to come down to this world. And because of that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitkadesh, being sanctified ba'aretz. People would see, people would understand. That's called Kiddush Hashem. Sanctifying God's name. When we says, V'aya Hashem lemelech al kol haaretz, it's through our asiyah, through our action. HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed us a little part in this world that He left unfinished. I'm deliberately not using the word not perfect. It's unfinished. So we can come and we can tap into that. This tapping into creates a connection, and therefore I am becoming holy. In the language of on the mystical concept, that's called ha'atzala. Ha'atzala means it means to shadow over. HaKadosh Baruch Hu casts His shadow over us, and by doing so, we becoming holy as if we're enjoying the light that comes from Him. I'm allowing this light to spread. The light could spread only through action. Could not by sitting down idle, by all means. So I don't know, exactly what's your individual concept of holy or becoming holy. Many times it's because we get ideas from other religions and other cultures, but that's not what holy is all about. You have to do something. It is very interesting, and one needs to remember that every time that we have a feeling, I have this sensation, this feeling of I'm holy. I'm feeling like I'm floating of ways of holiness, I'm feeling like I'm doing something and so on and so forth. That kind of sensation that does not come as a result of an action, of hard work and doing, most likely, and I want to say all the time because, but most likely, most of the time is no more than a mirage. It's no more than a fantasy. It's fantasy of holiness. I'm dreaming about it. I am not holy. I'm just pretending to become one. I am not. So if you feel sometimes, you pray and you notice that somebody's looking at you because you just prayed longer and you're feeling, oh, I did something. I'm holy. You are anything but. Most likely a holy person does not know he's holy. Because he's busy working. He's busy doing things. He doesn't have time to think, oh, I did such a wonderful thing. I'm doing this great thing. That does not happen, Habibi. That's California dreaming. That's Woodstock 1969. That's not what we're talking about here. Not everybody that smokes a joint, with all due respect, becomes holy. Yeah, you think you are, but you're anything but. You can't. That's why it bothers me when people say, oh, the rabbis used to smoke, the prophets used to smoke. They smoke nothing. I don't know, but you've been smoking, but they smoke nothing. It's impossible to do that. because it will give you into a state, into a situation of not doing, because you're drunk, or you stoned, or you high, or whatever it is. You want to get high, really high, do whatever you need to do here, and then you go to the highest highs in Olam Haba. In this world, there's no high. In this world, there is action. That's why I don't like to get drunk. I don't believe in smoking dope. I don't believe in taking drugs. I don't believe in all these things. I want to be sedated. That's one of the songs I hate. I know. I hate this songs. I really cannot stand this song. Why? Because the message, it's so bad. 24 hours a day, I want to be sedated. What kind of loser would sing a song like that? I'm serious. I know a lot of people like it, but I don't know. It's like, doesn't sit well with me. I don't have enough days in the week, enough hours in the day to do half of the things I want to do. I need like 3 lifetimes to do all the things I want to do. I don't have time for this. And you should be the same thing. The only advantage that you have over me, you're younger. You have more time to do. I had to wait all these years to figure that out. I'm telling you now, you have a better chance to become holier. You have a better chance than me to become better. Because you're young. Don't waste your time in sitting down doing nothing. Putting suntan lotion like a shrimp on a barbie. One side on this side, one side on the other side. Get up and do something. That's Kedusha. That's holiness. It's a tremendous concept. It's just completely opposite. And you don't have to go to some kind of an ashram in who knows where and sit there and meditate on the rock and be disconnected from the world. You are not becoming holy like this. Guarantee. Not to be a monk somewhere and so on and so forth. That does not happen. A holy person doesn't do those things. And if you look at any people who do become holy, even in other cultures, are usually people who take care of other people that are busy doing something. Our parasha at the end is a very interesting story. Who is this, Michael? Winnie the Pooh, you gotta lose some weight there. What'd you eat for lunch, man? You can't fit to the... Our parasha ends up with the story of the person who curses. They call him the Mekalel. And really, I mean, what does that have to do with what we're talking about? Holiness, holiness. What it has to do with that? Sipur Mekalel, according to Rashi, is we're talking about this guy that his mother was Jewish, his father was not. And the Torah seems to take like great effort in actually giving us her name. Her name is Shlomi Badavri. That Mekalel stood up and we'll get to it exactly why he did that, But he went to Beit Din by Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu says, "No, listen, you have to pay. You're guilty." And he went outside and he started cursing. He started cursing Moshe Rabbeinu, and then not only that, he started cursing God Himself, which is quite pathetic. I mean, what in the world are you thinking? What's wrong with you? So that's called the Mekalel. And we need to understand that a person does not turn bad all of a sudden. He doesn't wake up in the morning one day and say, guess what? I'm going to be bad today. That's, by the way, the mistakes that many parents and educators go through. Many teachers think that the kid gets up this morning and his intention that day was to drive the teacher crazy. Don't give yourself so much credit. It's just an event, the things that happen. And the kid also the same thing to the parent. The kid doesn't say, oh man, this morning, well, let me see what I can do. Let me drive my parents nuts. That does not happen. It's a process. Everything is a process. So in order to understand what this person that Mekalel did that was so bad, we need to understand, we need to try to look exactly what brought him to this stage. And what brought him to the stage is to need to look really at his breeding ground. What happened at his breeding ground? What was the situation at his home? And in order to understand that, we need to ask another question. What did his mother merited so much? What did she do that Giveret, that lady, had her name inscribed in the Torah forever and ever? Forever and ever. The Torah, again, calls her Shlomit Bat Davri, and there is a great significance for that name. That lady, as Rashi brings it, used to say hello to everybody. Everybody used to come her way. Hello, how are you? How are you feeling today? Is everything okay? Hello, how are you? Right? Everybody. Which is okay, such a big thing. But she used to talk to everybody. After she used to say hello, she used to chat. And she used to talk to everybody. Says hello, hello, hello. And medaberet. And she was talking. And he says, kilkela. She spoiled it. You look sharp. What did she spoil? Rabotai, what did she spoil?
Her kid.
Nothing better than this lady, Shlomit Bat Davri, was a harlot. That's right. It was a harlot. So, okay, no, what's the big deal? So she was a harlot. I mean, that's such a new thing. I mean, it's a concept. I mean, what's so great about she was a harlot. There are many harlots there.
Harlot.
What's a harlot? A prostitute.
I don't know bad things.
You don't know bad things, okay. Sorry to bring you that. But Chazal tells us that she was the only harlot. So it's not that the Torah was saying how bad she is, but how good Am Yisrael. In this whole great nation, there's two things we have to remember here. In this whole great nation, so few million people, there was only one harlot. The other thing you can learn from it, that there are certain things you cannot wipe out completely, but you can always minimize that. So but it still is tremendous thing. For a few million people, maybe like 3 million people there, only one harlot. Huh? Achav wasn't Jewish.
This one is not Jewish. She converted.
No, this was Jewish. She was Jewish, yes.
Oh, okay.
So what was so great? I mean, what's the connection from becoming super nice, right? Because she was super nice, she became a harlot. Because she says everybody, she became a harlot. She said hello to everybody because she was used to talk to everybody, just chatting, gossiping around. That's what caused her to become a harlot, that in return caused her son to become what he became. Something here needs a further looking. And this is exactly what the problem is. We call it in Hebrew pitput, chatter, babble. That kind of talk, the source of that, the reason for that, is really to get a confirmation, to be approved by others, to want to receive warmth from the people, to confirm and to affirm myself, right? So others would think that I am a nice guy. Not that I'm really a nice guy, I just want others to think I'm a nice guy. I don't really like you, but I just want you to think that I'm a nice guy. Therefore, I'm asking, how are you? I, for myself, a person like this, I'm not happy with my life. I'm completely dissatisfied by my life. Therefore, I need something external, or someone external that will come and will tell me that I'm worth something. I need to be affirmed from the outside. When I'm cold, internally, I want warmth from the outside. That's why I'm looking for a fake and unreal warmth. And how do I do it? By being nice. We need to remember that each and every one of us has this little shlomit inside of us. Many times. If we're going to be very careful and honest with ourselves, we would see that many times during the day, we harlot our soul. Every time that I talk too much, that I'm being too nice, and we'll see exactly what does it mean to be too nice. And I'm being too nice in order to derive what? Self-benefit I'm only nice to you because I want something from you, not because I really love you, not because I really care about the people. I don't really care about them. I just want something from them. It's more important to me what people think about me than what I'm actually doing. That's why I'm going to put all my effort in my image rather than my job to do. And that's true to politicians, that's true to many people, but mainly them. More interesting about their rating. And again, this is very bad. In other words, I am harloting myself in idle talk with excessive hello and greetings to people that is not real. Why? Because I'm saying, maybe from this person I'm going to get salvation. Not because I'm doing something and I'm going to get my salvation as I stand in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I don't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in my life altogether. I only see the person that I want something from. I'm bored. That's why I babble. I'm bored for I babble, or I babble for I'm bored. And I am not, by doing so, what does it mean I'm bored? What does it mean when a person says I am bored? When a person says I am bored, means, in other words, that particular person is not connected to his nitzot chaim, to his spark of life inside of him. And he's not connected to it from an action. That's why he's bored. Therefore, since I'm bored, I'm going to create a situation. I'm going to talk. I'm going to babble. I'm trying to create action, some commotion. I want something to happen. And it doesn't make a difference if it's good or bad, as long as something is happening. It doesn't make a difference what's the result. All it matters that there is some action around. I'm trying to get a confirmation from the surrounding, from my society, that I'm appropriate, that I deserve. Not that I deserve because I did something positive, with receipts, that I can show that I did something. I want to mix and mingle with people, literally, to mix with them, like to mix with their soul, with their nefesh, to suck all the good out of them, without giving anything in return. I'm a leech. This kind of attitude causes a lot of doubts within the person. Doubts about himself. Doubts about his life. Doubts about God. Curses. He curses everything. He sees everything is cursed. He doesn't see the bracha in everything. He doesn't see the good in anything. His life don't have a blessing in it. And that, in a way, is what we call in Hebrew, in Israel, in Hebrew, we call it balagan. It creates a spiritual chaos inside of you. Huh? What'd you say?
No,
yeah, there's another word. I don't want to use that. It creates a balagan. It's a spiritual internal chaos that disconnects me completely from the joy of life. Simchat HaChaim. There's no happiness. There's no joy. Chedva. There's nothing. I'm miserable. And at the end, that disconnect would disconnect me completely from the divine spark that is inside of me. When a person curses, like this Mekalel, he cursed the God inside of him. He cursed the divine spark inside of him. He was so completely disconnected from anything positive. To say hello and to say how are you, it's good. It's appropriate. It's needed. But not in a form of social welfare. In other words, that I only do that because I need something from you. I became dependent on your approval. That's why I'm saying hello to you. To say hello, it's not because you are bored, or it's not because no, fake manners. It's not a matter of manners. It's fake manners. It's to say hello and to care about. It's only because, let's say, like it shalom, to say shalom to somebody, only mitoch shlemut, only because I have this harmony inside. I have internal peace. I am shalem. I am whole myself. Only when I feel one, complete, harmonious inside, I can greet somebody with that, because shalom comes from shalem, from one. Shalom comes from harmony. When one thing is one unit, is harmonious. So how could I greet you with harmony when I'm disharmonized? Myself. When there is chaos inside of me. Can't do that. So if I do it, it's fake. If I don't care about myself, in terms of what is that I'm doing, why should I care about you? How could I care about you? It's impossible. And I cannot ask on somebody's behalf how he's doing unless I have the willingness inside of me to give. I need to be able to give. I'm saying hello to give for myself, not to receive from you. Now, this guy, and that happens to us in our life, it's a fall, we collapse. So in order to prevent that, it's really, one needs to pay attention to why it is that we always rebel against HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What is the purpose of such, or what's the result, what's the cause of that? Many people think that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is like an insurance policy. And it's a mistake. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, is a king. And he's not an insurance policy, and he's not an insurance salesman. In other words, there's people who think that the job of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is to take care of so-called all your problems and all your needs and all your hardship, like an insurance company, just on a greater scale. They're wrong. Therefore, when they have a problem and they have a something that was resolved in a fashion that is different to what they wanted, they're not happy with the result or the outcome of that problem, right? So the first thing that happens, we already have questions about God. Why? Because he didn't do what he needed to do. His job was to take care of my all my things the way I wanted it, not the way he wanted, the way I wanted it. And if he didn't do it, means maybe he's not capable. But this is not the case, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu tov u'meitiv lakol. He takes care of everybody. Not only is tov u'meitiv. He is good, and he does good. Lakol. Lekol beroav, to all his creations. Lekol asher yikre'u be'emet, for those who will call upon him truthfully. But then again, when you're telling me good, who decides what good is? What good in this nation is good is bad for the other nation. So what's good, right? Does that depend on your cultural thing? Is it personal preferences? What does it mean good? No. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the only one, since he is good and he is the source of all the good. He's the one to decide what's good and what's bad. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has infinite wisdom, beyond anything that we could even start to understand. He knows our past, and if you believe in reincarnation, he knows what you were before, and so on and so forth. Everything in the world has an order. There's no such thing as incidents or coincidence. Everything has happened because things happen. HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows exactly what happens. And therefore, when we start measuring and weighing, and we start making excuses, it's like a new trend that people have now. They explaining what happens to the world according to different things. This happened because of science, and this is like this, and so on and so forth. That they understand, and they could answer all the kushiyot, all the questions they have on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's doomed. It's going to fade. And this was the ta'ut, the mistake of this mekalel, of the person who cursed. He thought that he has all the tools to judge the Torah. He knew why HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us to do Brit Milah on the 8th day. Okay, so we know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us to do the 8th day. We think, and I'm using the word, I don't have a problem to say that, we think that vitamin K at that day reaches its peak, that's why we do Brit Milah. Or the platelets are highest at this day, that's why we do Brit Milah. This is wrong. That's not what we do Brit Milah. We do Brit Milah because HaKadosh Baruch Hu told us to do it on the 8th day. That's it. And no other shtuyot that people come up. People justify the Torah or try to explain the Torah according to science. That's not the right way. Science should be explained according to the Torah. And when you have this, you're going to come to be mistaken. He's like this guy, he thought he's going to have a share in Shevet Dan, and it wasn't the case. And as soon as things didn't work out the way as this guy thought, right? So he already had the thoughts or the opinion that he could set his negative opinion on that. And he says, according to me, that shouldn't be like this. And I have a complaint against God, and I have a complaint against the Torah. And as such, I have no problem cursing God. And that was his downfall. You cannot explain the Torah, you need to do it. And that's the thing that happens. For example, I'm very upset today, and I'll tell you the truth. Today in Israel, the court said that those women who have absolutely no regard for Am Israel and Torah Israel the courts decided that this woman can take the Sefer Torah and they can put the talit and tefillin on and go to the kotel among the men, and the police is not allowed to do anything about it, and we should have other views than Orthodox on how we're going to pray in the kotel. That's a disgrace.
It's going to be mixed now?
Sure.
The women are going to go with the men?
Yeah.
Is it reform?
That's the reform, yes. Where's the respect for what this place was? It's not about Orthodox and Reform. And by the way, who are the courts to intervene in Jewish law? The Kotel does not belong to the state of Israel. The Kotel, Jerusalem, and the land of Israel belongs to the Jews, not to the Israelis. Because Israelis, they are Arabs, they are Muslims, they are Christians, they are whatever. Eretz Israel, the land of Israel belongs to Am Israel. Does not belong to Israelis. The Israelis, and I'm an Israeli. Actually, I'm not. I'm an American. I'm an Israeli. I'm what? I'm a Jew. So what? An Israeli has more rights on the land? Based on what? So when you get the ability to interpret the Torah as you wish, you can throw God out of the picture, and this is your downfall. And I hope this is not the downfall of Israel because of stuff like that. What's going on there? It's terrible. Would they dare to rule like this, to go in a mosque with shoes? So how dare they? But they feel that they have the right to interpret the Torah whichever way they want. And that's what happens. And that's where you curse God. That's why I don't like when we have this trying to explain and justify the Torah because why I'm doing this. It's not even the question. Because today I like it, it makes sense to me. Tomorrow it doesn't make sense to me. So guess what? I'm not doing it. The Torah tells us this tragic story in order for us to learn from the mistake of others. Because we understand that emunah, belief, it's something that you cannot, prove or not prove. Emunah can only come when you understand the infinite power of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that is beyond human capacity to understand. If we take all the mental capacity, all the intellectual capacity of all mankind, from first man until the last man, We were not going to be able to start comprehending and understanding what God is all about. As much as a table cannot understand what goes in the mind of the carpenter who made it. That's even more, it would make more sense than we trying to understand what Kadosh Baruch Hu wants. And He gave us the Torah, so we cannot do that. That's why the Torah teaches us something great. And we see it in mitzvot tzedakah. We see it in the mitzvot HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks us to take care of the weak one. And that's what we have in this parasha, is the parasha of the Omer. We're giving the Omer. Why? Learn how to give. What HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells you is good for you. Find this within yourself to give your best that you have for others. This time is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and if we don't have the Omer, what is there worst to give? Give them the most precious thing you have. And the most precious thing you have is your time. Dedicate your time for those who are less fortunate than you. If you know how to read, take a person who doesn't know how to read. If you know halakha, then teach it to one who doesn't know it. See how fortunate you are and see how unfortunate people are, and share your best. That's mitzvat bikurim. You take the best of what you have, the first crops of your field, and you bring it over. Not that HaKadosh Baruch Hu needs your barley or He needs anything to bring. He just simply is trying to teach you how to find it within yourself to give, because ultimately it's His, and we are His, and therefore we have to do what He wants. Yiratzon b'fnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that we will be able to do Retzon Hashem completely, b'toch emunah shlema, מתוך אהבה ואחווה ורעות, אמן כן יהי רצון.